Hey there, Commercial Construction Coffee Talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Corson. I'm your host. I'm also the publisher and editor of Commercial Construction and Renovation Magazine. This is what it used to look like. We're digital now, but I grabbed a couple archives here. Here's January 2021. Jason Sweeney, supervisor of facilities and construction at Southern California AAA. AAA has like 10,000 locations across the country. Anyway, if you ever get into SoCal, it's like a museum down there. They got pictures of all the old cars and all that. But Jason was great to grace the cover. I think he's got a promotion since then. But what a great place! If you ever get down there, go take a tour of the facility. You'll see some awesome pictures and car too. And I went digital. And but I was like holding the magazine in my hand. Let's see where I was at here. Oh, I was down at the it's me down at the at our Georgia Swarm. It's our indoor professional lacrosse team, and took my high school lacrosse team down there to play on the turf, and then meet some of the guys down in the locker room. I've got a couple. I went to University of Denver, played lacrosse, and there's a couple of Pios that are on the Georgia Swarm team that were alums. We're all tight. And but the guys got to play on the turf and then see everybody. I think I got a picture of myself on my motorcycle, my first motorcycle, my Indian. I don't know how old I was there, maybe 8, 9. No helmet, no nothing, just going crazy. But we went digital. August of 2021 was the last issue I did printed, and I just made the transformation from print face to face to digital, and it's been an amazing ride. Listen, everybody out there that's found us on the web. I'm on pace for 70 to 80 million people hitting our website this year, consuming our content. And I couldn't have done it without you. So you're all gold in my book. And I can't tell you, I would have never ever believed that I would have been a content provider if I looked back at my life and so forth. But that's the way life goes. You gotta roll with the punches. And here I am. But thank you so much for finding us. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for finding the site. But uh, today I have a guest, one of my a fellow alum from my prep school that we went to. It's called the Petty School, Exit 8 off the New Jersey Turnpike, and his name is Mr. Mike Storms. I've got a year on him, so he was a year or two behind me. He was a Marine, so hoorah, and all that. Thank you for your service, Mr. Storms. We appreciate that. And he's a life coach. He's into health. But I had Mike on because we're at the end of the year, and a lot of people start the year off with New Year's resolutions and how they want to change their life and all that. And I figured having someone that's had such a diverse career as a petty alum, I figured it would be a good time to have as we go into the last quarter of the year and get ready for next year. Just some things to ponder and think about. And listen, if you don't have your health and you don't have your mindset, you don't have anything. I mean, it's just reality. And if you take care of your body will perform for you like a thoroughbred. So, Mike's out of NOLA, which is New Orleans for you guys that don't live in the South. He's about 45 minutes out. Mike, say hello to our listeners out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
Hey, everybody, glad to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate the time. And the way we're going to do this, Mike, we'll do it in 3 parts. You're going to tell your story, which I basically know, and then we'll talk about some trends that you see or anything that you think is worthy, and anything else that comes up in the conversation. And then you'll leave we'll talk about lessons learned from the roller coaster that we've all been on over the last 5 years and how you weathered it. And then you'll leave your contact info and one positive thought or phrase, and then we'll close it out. So with
Great.
that said, I can't wait. I know some of the story, but I'm psyched to see the whole one. So hear the whole one.
Also, everything I've ever done from my time as an athlete, growing up in New Jersey, and I grew up in North Jersey, Bergen and Passaic County, went to Wayne Hills High School before I went to Petty for 2 years. So, as an athlete, I played football, I boxed, I've done martial arts for 45 years, played hockey, wrestled, played lacrosse, and I went to Petty, played baseball. But my main focus was the combat sports: football, lacrosse, hockey, wrestling, boxing, martial arts. Baseball was great. My dad went to Cornell and was a baseball star. And I think I didn't like baseball because he was trying to make me like baseball. So I just shifted to other stuff. But everything I've ever done, whether it was as a kid or in high school, my first job was I was a water safety survival instructor through the Red Cross, my first real job, and I was a lifeguard in the summer in Jersey, is I've always been a teacher, a communicator, and a coach, and been fascinated with personal development and human performance. Whether it's the human performance, my wife and I owned and operated for over 35 years the largest martial arts school and a couple other satellite schools in the state of Louisiana. And we taught over 15,000 kids there.
Oh, wow.
In addition to coaching in the NFL and coaching in college, the principles of communication and human performance and installing personal belief and steering people towards their dreams and goals that, if you have dreams and goals and you don't put them down on paper, it's just a wish. And if you don't build a map and a blueprint on how to get there, and then acquire the skills you need, acquire the people that you need around you, and then, of course, take the action, right? You can't steer a bicycle, you're not pedaling. And all of those things are related, whether it's in the business world, whether it's in your personal health and well-being, whether it's in your finances, whether it's in having a great marriage and being a good parent, whether it's in an athletic endeavor, whatever it is, it's the same blueprint. Wisdom, understanding, mentorship, integrity, massive action. When you do those things, you're going to succeed wherever you go. But most people, their dreams are here, but their investment preparation wise, or their investment commitment wise, right? Interested people will find excuses to quit along the journey. Committed people will find ways to keep succeeding. And I've seen that time and time again in sports, in business, in marriages, in relationships, and everything, because committed people find ways to win with integrity. They find solutions, and interested people just find excuses. And if you're good at making excuses, you're not good at making much else. So the jack of all trades thing, I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, I'm a mentor. Whether it's my health and fitness business online, I coach people all over the country. My wife and I have coached over 2,000 people personally, and our team of coaches have coached over 10,000. And breaking the paradigms and belief systems that are incorrect about ultra health. I'm 61, I'm 5'11 and a half, I weigh 187. My resting heart rate is like 50. My blood pressure is 110/70. I've never taken a medicine, a pill, or shot in my life. I'm not going to talk about this. I don't take the flu shot, none of that.
Yeah.
So, and I eat very well, and I exercise, but it's nothing crazy. The best exercise in the world to be healthy is go for a 30, 45-minute walk.
Oh, yeah.
And if you eat right, and your body does all the work for you. But, I feel like I'm 30 again once I got a hold of all these concepts and became a certified health coach. My wife's a NASM certified menopause specialist, nutritionist, and master trainer. And so we've always kind of been in that space, and it helps me with my football coaching too, which is, talk about, a gift from God. I wanted to be an NFL player my whole life. I wanted to be a college football player. And then when I was at Petty, my PG year, I tore up my knee real bad and had to have knee surgery. So I was, didn't get to play. I got to play spring lacrosse because I got a little bit better. And then went to college. My knee was kind of messed up when I came down to LSU. So I couldn't really, when I tried to do the summer workouts, I couldn't do them. So wasn't able to play football. And it was kind of a bummer because I played it since I was in grammar school. And the reason I went to LSU was my roommate at Petty was from Baton Rouge, and he was going to LSU, and I wanted to go south. I was sick of the snow. So go to college for a year, can't play sports, a little bit lost, so then I joined the Marines. So summer of my freshman year of college, I went to Paris Island, became a United States Marine, just like my dad and a couple of my best friends. And in the Marine Corps, my martial arts instructor to this day, he's been my martial arts sensei since 1985. So 40 years, right? 95, yeah, 40 years. He was the martial arts coach for the San Diego Chargers. He brought me with him to coach the Chargers, and I've been coaching in the NFL and college ever since then. But so the way it worked out was the blessing was I didn't get to play football, but I've been coaching football for a long time. and players privately, teams. I've coached Hall of Fame players, All Americans, All Pro, national championships, and stuff like that. And Tulane for the last 3 years, I've been on staff there, and we won the Cotton Bowl, beat USC, won the conference that year, went past the conference championship the last 2 years, and it's been great. And so, but again, it's coaching. Whether I'm doing life coaching for clients, whether I'm doing health coaching, whether I'm doing martial arts coaching, whether I'm doing corporate security coaching, whether I'm doing business coaching, financial coaching, marriage coaching, everything I do is the same thing. How can I help people have a catalytic moment where they're like, I can be better. I can be healthier. I can be happier. I can have a better marriage. I can have, better investments. The stuff isn't that complicated. People just are afraid to look stupid. You can't get good if you don't want to look stupid, because everybody looks stupid when they start something, right? You're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
suck at it. I didn't pick up a lacrosse stick. It's the penny, and was able to sprint, catch, throw, cradle, do it. I mean, it took me a few weeks and months to do that. So that's kind of the super Reader's Digest version. I'm married. I got 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. My wife and I live on a 16-acre farm, 45 minutes away from Tulane. Raise Scottish Highland cows, have chickens and ducks, and a couple of Great Pyrenees, and because in well water, because I like having fresh eggs. And
And you got a new heifer, right?
yeah, we got a little bull calf about 2 months ago, beautiful little Highland.
Hmm.
Then we had a beautiful British White Highland cross about 3, 4 months ago, and they look like stuffed animals, and they're super super sweet and not skittish like most cows. They're really really nice to have, and they look beautiful in the pasture, looking over our lake and stuff like that, because they're just neat animals.
Hey, listen, I got 4 dogs. They're all rescues. And, we had horses when I was grew up outside of Philadelphia. And there's nothing like having animals. And, man's best friend, we've had, a ton of them. And,
Dogs are great.
yeah, but I'll tell you, as I look back at my life, Petty was a great experience for me. I mean, it was. I was a
Me
4 year.
too.
I was going to go to the Hill School. Why did you decide to go to Petty if you were going to high school in North Jersey?
I was going to Wayne Hills High School, and my parents, I tested very, very high on all the standardized testing,
Hmm.
but my study habits were poor. And they want my dad, mom went to the University of Virginia at Mary Washington. My dad went to Cornell, NYU, and Columbia. And they were
Hmm.
like, we got to get him somewhere where he's going to get a little bit better, smaller classes, better education, better chance to do things. And then I still went to LSU. So my dad was like, well, that was a waste of money for 2 years. But but yeah, he was so pissed off I didn't go Ivy Land. I didn't want to stay up there. It was just me. And I didn't want anything my dad said. You need to do this. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the opposite. I was that guy when I was in my late teens. But so I went there to get better study skills, better understanding of what it took to use the brain that I had to be more successful in the classroom. And it definitely helped also. uh, Wayne, New Jersey, and half of my friends we were kind of rough guys. So it was a nice education on uh, just being a little bit nicer and classier, and not, when you see everything as a nail and you're a hammer, that's how you saw it. And I was just in my early and late teens, I needed a dose of civility and academic mentorship, and Petty provided that.
Hey, listen, when I got out, my parents put me on skates and skis as soon as I was out of diapers, and I loved hockey. I wanted to be a professional hockey player, and I went to hockey school up in Canada. Got the hockey digest, and I want to go to the hockey ranch. 4 hours of horseback, 4 hours of ice hockey. I lived on the ranch, shoveled manure, horse manure. We worked, and that was about 45 minutes out of TO, that's Toronto. And it was in a place called Pickering, Ontario. I don't even think the place is even around now. They probably urban sprawls probably gobbled it up, but it was a great place to go. And um, when I was going to go to the Hill School in Pottstown, it was an all guys school at the time. Now it's co-ed, but top hockey program. I probably would have made varsity maybe my juniors. I probably would have played varsity 1 or 2 years max because that team was awesome. But they wanted me to be a 5-day boarder, and I didn't have the test scores to get in. And I told my parents, I was like, look, I'm only going to play one, 2 years of varsity. If I'm going to have to go board, I'm going to go board at a co-ed school. I live 5 minutes from the school. It's ridiculous. That I have to board there. So I applied to Chode, Hotchkiss. I was a hockey guy.
Yeah, all of us did, bro.
Yeah,
All of us did.
And Petty was building their hockey program, and they told
Yeah,
my parents, "Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Gorson, we're building our hockey program. Your kid's going to play 4 years varsity hockey here."
that's so great, dude.
That's what they said. They said we'd love to have him. If the Hill doesn't want him, we know, Coach D down there. Listen, and the division, he was just coming in from Harvard, and I was like, okay, cool. And my dad died in a plane crash in 1978. He dropped me off from Christmas break. And then the following week, we were playing Hill School, my rival, my freshman year. And he was kept his plane at Teterboro and could have driven there, but it was foggy that morning and flew in. And he could have flown into Reading where there was radar, but there was a little town called Limerick. It was 10 minutes from the Hill School, and he wanted to get to the game. So he missed the approach, came around, and then he just clipped some trees right before the
Wow.
runway. Broke his neck, total, just a,
What year
awful.
were you?
I was 14. So I was
Wow.
at my freshman year and right after New Year's, January 7th. And I knew something was up because I was sitting on the bench. We had just tied the hill. It was like 2-2. And I saw the cop car. And then the cop came around and he's talking to Coach Division. Coach comes over and he goes, Corson, got to take your skates off. You got to go with this officer. I'm like, what's up? He goes, well, there's been an accident. And I'm like, I'm not leaving. We just tied this game. You know how important this game is to me? He's like, look, there's been an accident. You got to go. So I take my skates off. I get in the car. We're driving down. I figured we're going to the hospital. And the cop's like, how old are you? And I go, I'm 14. He started crying. And I'm like, oh man, this cannot be a good sign.
Yeah.
And so I go in there, and my family's down there. My best friend's dad was a doctor, Dr. Lupus, and Uncle Jack, and confirmed my father. So had to go through that funeral in Pottstown, and then there was a huge one in New York. He's buried up in Paramus in a big Jewish cemetery outside of New York.
Yeah, Paramus is right next to where I grew up. I used to go to Paramus Park Mall all the time when I was a
Oh
kid.
yeah, the Jewish cemetery. It's like a city. They've got square blocks. You got to know what the address is, and you know where it is.
Yep.
And anyway, I just wanted to get back to school and just kind of get back into sports and do my thing. And uh, and Petty was great though, because for those you don't know, when you go to prep school, you got study hall every night, 8 to 10. You got
Yep.
sports day on Wednesday, half day classes, and then on Saturday you got Saturday morning classes and sports day. And
Makes a huge difference.
sit down dinners 3 days a week, jacket and tie. And so
And when I was
go ahead. You were
I
there,
hated
you
wearing
know.
I hated wearing socks with my topsiders.
Oh yeah.
And then a couple times some certain people would make us wear socks.
Well,
I
three
hated
days a
wearing
week, yeah,
socks.
yeah, sit down, yeah, chapel once a week, one day a week, the whole school would get together in the the like the play auditorium. And anyway, it was an amazing experience. When I went to college, I had already gone to 4 years at Border at Petty. So I was kind of already my roommate in college, he never even lived away from home. I had already lived away from home at 4 years.
It was
And
so crazy. Like do you remember Ann Seltzer?
yes. Yeah, she's the
Ann
English
was my
teacher.
English teacher, and I loved her. She's my
Yeah.
favorite teacher.
Uh-huh.
So they did that Petty Around the World thing in New Orleans, and my wife went to this very, very excellent girls' Catholic school down here, high school called Ursuline. She's a Tulane grad. My sister's a Tulane grad. My father-in-law went to Tulane Law School. So we go to have dinner with Ann when she was in town. And we have two sons and two daughters. And my oldest son was kind of junior high school maybe. And she was like, so are you going to send your son to Petty or one of your daughters? And this is like, my son's 34. So it's like 20 years ago. And she told us how much the tuition was. And I was like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
we're not sending him up there to that. And
Yeah.
he's done great. He's like one of the top couple hundred AI and Bitcoin experts in North America, which is in Taiwan at NVIDIA's headquarters. So he's done pretty good without going to Petty. But anytime I talk to people, wherever I am, whether I'm traveling with a football team, coaching, or I'm at Tulane, one of our wide receivers played at the Hun School.
Oh, hun, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, coach, you went to Petty?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I went to Petty." And he goes, "Wow, this, that, this, and that." When I was there, they were great at swimming. That was about it.
Yeah, swimming. Yeah, yeah. Swim
We
team.
weren't great at much else, right?
Yeah.
But I did my senior year. I did have an interception in the Blair game and almost ran it back for a touchdown. Almost had a pick six. So that was exciting because we hated. Remember how much they programmed us to hate Blair? It was
Oh,
crazy.
yeah. Uh, listen, for those of you who don't know, New Jersey is a hotbed for athletics, and the high schools are huge. And we only had 500 people at our school, co-ed. Most of the guys that went there, or girls, they were athletes. We had, and but some years you were heavy, some years you had good teams, and then other years, you had freshmen and sophomore
Yeah.
and a couple of seniors, and you were going to get crushed. So a lot of the high schools used to beat up on, oh, we're going to beat up on the preppies. Well, there was a sign in the weight room that said, "Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard," and
Yep.
that kind of
We have
set.
that in the weight room at Tulane.
Yeah, that set with me, because we beat a lot of teams that just, were probably better than us, but we just, we were the
Sure.
underdog and had that chip on our shoulder and had no respect. And the greatest thing I think I ever did at Petty was when my junior year, we went up with Princeton Day right after New Year's. We went up it was the year that the Olympics were on in 1980. And we took a bus with Princeton Day. We shared the bus and we played Northwood School, which is a top hockey program in Lake Placid, and we played on the Olympic Arena, ice sheet of ice, about 2 or 3 weeks before the Olympics happened. So, and let me tell you, Lake Placid in January is freaking cold. Okay, you don't run out with your hair wet. So we're running around, we're doing our thing. Played Lake Placid High School, got crushed by them because the rink was an Olympic rink and it was a little wider. I was trying to give this guy a hip check, and there was another 2 feet of to the boards. The guy went right around me. So they had cheerleaders. They blew us out.
Yeah, it's different. It's like I went to Wayne Hills before I went to Petty, and Greg Olson, who's going to be a Hall of Fame tight end from uh, Carolina Panthers, and he played at Miami. He's one of our alumni, and we would get like 5, 10,000 people at the football games,
Yeah,
and they had a little football stadium. It was crazy. My high school had 2,500 students before I went to
yeah,
Petty, but
yeah.
it's just I think athletics are important. We had our kids all, they had to pick a sport or two and do it along with their academics because it develops, teamwork, focused work, time management, grit, and all that stuff. And, I tell this to the kids because parents always ask me, because like I coached the Chargers, I was a Saints coach for 6 years, coached the Miami Dolphins, South Carolina, University of North Carolina, Nebraska, Virginia, East Carolina, Louisiana Lafayette, Louisiana Tech, and then Tulane. I've coached at Tulane for 4 different seasons. And they, people who coach this, that, this, that. It's like, first of all, if anybody's listening to this and you got grandkids or kids that play sports, do not specialize. It's the
No.
dumbest thing you can do. The
Hmm.
reason specialization took place was because people make money off of the all-star leagues, tournament leagues, travel teams. It's a money grab. And the reason the Tommy John surgeries have gone up for kids who play baseball so badly is because the arm has to rest. You can't throw 10 months out of the year. Baseball season's 3, 4 months, you're done, right? And so I said, why should I do that, coach? You know what? 85 to 90% of all D1 athletes are multi-letterman. One of my closest friends that was on the same Super Bowl team that I coached a bunch of the guys privately, his son didn't play football until sophomore year in high school. And then he just graduated last year at University of North Carolina Tar Heels as the #1 tight end in receptions and touchdowns in the history of the school. He played basketball and he played lacrosse and played flag football. And then the other thing with the CTE stuff, you don't want nobody I know, like none of my NFL buddies, coaches or players, we don't let our kids play till high school.
Yeah, no,
The
listen.
micro, the micro hits on a developing brain
Mhm.
in Little League, not good. So that's a little,
I played
little
football in junior,
service announcement.
I played football in junior high, and um, when I went to Petty, I was like, you know what? I don't want to get hurt. Hockey's my gig, so I ran
Yeah.
I ran track, I ran hurdles and sprinter, and I had never picked up a lacrosse stick. So my sophomore year, I came back and I was like, okay, I'll play JV. So I played JV for Mr. Vaughn when he was there. And I think Coach Bremen was the other coach. Anyway, I spent all summer and I played wall ball because I told myself I'm making the varsity next year. I'm not playing JV, you know. And anyway, Gordon Elkins and myself, we were the only juniors that made the varsity my junior year, and it was I actually ended up being a better lacrosse player than I was a hockey player, believe it or not. But I
Huh.
didn't pick up a stick until I was. But lacrosse is just 95% is
Hockey
basically
on grass.
yeah, I mean, if you can, you know how to run. We can teach you the plays. They're all the same thing. It's, give and go,
I'm a
back and
crease
forth.
defenseman.
It's
I just like,
basketball with sticks and helmets, basically.
yeah,
And
I was a crease defenseman at Petty. I just hit people with my 6 foot stick and ran over people.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
and I enjoyed it. The other neat thing about Petty too is we had such a great relationship with Princeton that if it was, we'd go over there and train in their track and field facility. I went to Princeton lacrosse camp for 2 years, loved it. Petty was a great experience. Food in the dining hall was terrible. Like I
yeah,
always told them when I was there, hey, if I ever like one of my things I promote or do one of my businesses, if it really hits it, I'm going to make a directed donation. You got to use it for the dining hall. Food here sucks.
yeah. Well, listen, I was there for 4 years. It was the greatest thing that my parents could do. And my son, he was in the high school locally. He was working with his hands, and he just wasn't interested in history or any of that stuff. And he was flipping some cars and bikes, and um, we met with the school. And there's a military academy here north of the lake called Riverside Academy. Anyway, I got him in there. I had stroked the check, $35,000 to get him in there his junior year. They
Where
were
is that?
it's in Gainesville, Georgia, which is on the northwest side of Lake Lanier. Beautiful campus. Uh, anyway, I told him, I said, look, bro, you're only going to be across the lake. You keep your grades up. You can have your car there. You'll get your keys. You get permission to leave. You're going to be in hotel company. All the lacrosse players are in that, dorm house, call it what you want. You're going to be brotherhood. You're going to do stuff that none of your friends in the high school are going to do. All you have to do is go up there. I'm telling you, you could bring your whole lacrosse team. We got plenty of rooms in the house. You just have to keep your grades up. But you're going to do stuff. You're going to have brothers for life. And but I couldn't get him to go. And so they had a shop class at the school, and I told the high school, I said, look, if there's one person out of 3,500 kids at North Gwinnett, and it was a dump, uh, they needed to build a new high school, and where we lived, it was a nice area, up in northeast Atlanta. Anyway, they said he doesn't have the mathematics skills, and I said, look, he'll figure it out. He goes, really, we can't put him in there. So you know what I did? I yanked him out of there, and we put him through online, and he worked in the local garage. He waited tables, and and then came time for and he was a lacrosse player. I took him out to DU when we won the national championship in 15. And we went out and I showed him, took him to the athletic center, all that, and played in the alumni game. And then we went to the dinner that night. And I hadn't seen my lacrosse coach in like 24 years.
Who won the national championship?
Yeah, DU. We beat Maryland in 15. I think it was in Philly that year. Anyway, first time that
DU.
University of Denver.
Oh,
Pioneers. Anyway, we don't have a football team. They had one way back in like 1930, but they didn't have a football team. And so I used to go to Boulder, to watch CU, or I go down to Sea Springs and watch Air Force. But we played them all in lacrosse and hockey, and hockey was the big gig. And but I took them out there, and we went to the dinner, we went to a hockey game, and Sunday they had the top 150 15-year-olds that were playing lacrosse for the Nike, USA team. And so Coach Tierney, he was running the practice, and I was tight with the alum. I'm tight alum with the coaching staff out there. Anyway, I said when I told him I was coming out, he goes, "Hey, are you bringing your kid?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "He plays lacrosse, right?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Does he want to play in? Does he want to go to the camp on Sunday?" I said, "I don't know. I guess he could bring his stuff. It's not like the top." He goes, "David, you know how it goes, man. Anybody can play lacrosse. Just because you got a Nike lacrosse bag doesn't mean you can't play." So we went out in the morning. He didn't have a great morning. And at lunch, I told him, I was like, bro, listen, you got way too much pressure. They don't bring the Nike World Lacrosse bag on the field. It stays on the sidelines. The guy and his stick comes out. You're just a redneck from Georgia, but you got a big old deep pole, and you can whack those guys pretty good. You just go do your thing. Don't worry about the bags because the bags aren't on the field. And I'll tell you, it was like night and day. And yeah, afterwards, he's like, I want to be a D1 athlete. I want to do this and that. And that lasted, I said, well, look, you got to get grades. You got to deal with, classes and stuff. But once again, his heart was set, but
That's like the
growing up in sports, I never pushed him at anything. And uh, I put him on skates. And when it came time for him to get on the ice, he's like, I want to play roller hockey. And they had a roller hockey, when we had a hockey team here in Atlanta, the Thrashers, the last team before they left. Every high school had a roller team. They had a hockey team. And so I played in the roller rink. I coached him. I didn't want some Yahoo coaching him. And then he got bored. He goes, I want to play lacrosse. And I said, well, they've got a lacrosse league up here. I'll reach out. So I reached out to the rec league, and they were pissed at me. They're like, oh my God, you're a D1 lacrosse player. You've been up here all these years. Do you know how hard it is to find a lacrosse coach? And you've been up here. I can't believe you've been sitting in our backyard here. I'm like, listen, I didn't even know you even had a men's league. I hadn't played lacrosse in a while, but once again, I didn't want some Yahoo teaching them. So I coached him in lacrosse. I coached him all the way through all the select teams during the summer, all that travel team stuff. And but I never pushed him, but I was very, very hard on him. And
yeah.
it was
Hard on them where you had standards. That's the thing. Like,
well, it was like this. He would come into me and he'd say, Dad, let's throw. I said, have you thrown 200 times with both your hands today? He goes, no. I go, well, go get the pitch back. I'm sitting down in my office. I'll watch you. When you're done doing 400 throws, you come to me and I'll come and throw with you. You have to earn my time. I'm not just going to come out and drop everything because you haven't practiced and done your gig. That's how I was hard on him. But when I got into,
well, it's not, again, I wouldn't say that's hard. I'm saying, hey, if you want A, you got to do B. It's not hard.
yeah,
It's just a
yeah.
condition thing. And yeah, that's
But the greatest thing that I did though, he wanted to take Taekwondo. So I said, sure. So he and my partner on my hockey tickets, he had a daughter. They both went into Taekwondo school. And I would sit there and I was playing on my BlackBerry when Blackberries had just come out. And I'm watching him. And he's like 15 years old. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, you know what? When he gets bigger, he's going to take a swing at me because I'm hard on him. And I want to protect myself. So I told him that I know that's a horrible thing to say, but it was reality. I mean, you should see he benches probably 350, and he's a beast. And I just looked at him. I said, you know what? I'm going to take Taekwondo, and it was great because I loved it. I took Taekwondo in University of Denver as one of my phys ed classes. I had one of my credits
it's
I had to
great,
take.
great exercise, great balance, great
Oh, it
focus.
was awesome. So he got sick when he was a brown belt. So he had the red and black. He only had 2 levels to go. And he got the flu and I let him take off for a couple of weeks and then I couldn't get him to go back. And I just said, bro, I'm right at the precipice on the summit, man. I'm
And
gonna go
that's a
my
common thing. What happens, like, so I've been doing martial arts for 40 plus years, 45 years straight, no downtime. So what happens is when people stop going to class, they feel like they've fallen behind their classmates. Whether it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, strep throat, bronchitis, broken arm, whatever. I got a thunderstorm rolling in here right now,
yeah.
Louisiana thunderstorms or something. So
If I
hopefully my
lose you,
internet,
you'll be okay.
hopefully my internet, and then they wouldn't come back. So what we would do is we would give them private lessons for once a week for 2 or 3 weeks to polish up all their forms, weapons, techniques, so they would feel comfortable to come back into a group setting. And so when kids want to, anytime somebody wants to quit something, and again, people might differ with my opinion. I don't care. You didn't teach 15,000 kids like me. And so kids don't, you know, if you can't find a way to keep somebody engaged, particularly if they're under 16, over that, they got to make a decision. They got to be responsible. But I was just talking to, I was up at the University of Nebraska talking football stuff with those folks. Got to meet, see, I was up there coaching in 2010 and Dominic Sue's senior year. So I was able got to see the Coach Osborne again. He's 88 now.
Oh, I was gonna
Still
say it's
drives
upper
himself to
80s.
the
Yeah.
facility.
Hmm.
And it was, as a coach, like when I do health coaching, my wife and I do health coaching. I'm talking to somebody, everyone gets a different program based on their goals, based on their medical history, based on their food allergies, whatever. If someone doesn't understand the way I'm communicating, it's on the communicator. It's not on the student or the client or the mentee. You're like, oh, he just doesn't want to learn. Well, there's a great thing called NLP, neuro linguistic programming, auditory, kinesthetic, or visual, right? If someone's a visual learner, you need to show them the stuff a lot. Someone's an auditory learner, you need to tell them how to do the technique. Somebody's a kinesthetic learner, you need to put your hands on them and put them in the positions to make the movements and stuff. We all learn in all three, but everybody's got a primary. So if kids, martial arts, football, lacrosse, hockey, academics, aren't learning, it's not them, it's the person teaching and communicating. Like I've owned, businesses my whole life, been an entrepreneur my whole life, never really worked for anybody other than the Marine Corps and schools and football teams. I need to know when I bonus my team members. Is it time off? Is it recognition? Is it cash? Because you give somebody a bunch of, hey, you made a $1,500 bonus this month. That coach, I could really use a couple of 4-day weekends to be with my family. I need to know that, right? So when kids quit stuff, I'm like, was the teacher or mentor invested in such a way that they did everything they could to try to get them back? Because sometimes it doesn't work, but lots of times it
Hey,
does.
I listen. I sat down. We went to the teacher. I offered him to pay him, give him money. I tried to bribe him. I did everything, and he just is like, "Dad, I don't want to go back. I don't want to do it." I
Yeah,
said,
that's
"Look,
funny as shit.
the good thing
You
is
know,
that you can go back 20 years from now, get your, listen. If you get a black belt,
hey,
you're
so I don't even know that we're at the second question yet, bro.
no, no. We're just talking. But let me tell you the story. So when he quit, I went back and I continued on, and my teacher, about 6 months before you got your black belt, they would put all the black belts on the wall. We were ATA, American Taekwondo
Yeah,
Association.
I
So
know
anyway,
all those guys.
yeah, and my teacher was lightning quick. He was about 5'4", maybe 150 pounds, but lightning quick, fourth degree, just unbelievable freaking athlete. I mean, some of the stuff that he did, he was so limber, it was unbelievable.
That's
Mr.
great.
Lauer, he has his own studio now left, and now he's into grappling and all this stuff. But so I was looking at my name in Korean for 6 months. So 2 weeks before my black belt test. I was going down to Miami to look for sites for one of my events, and I just was finishing the class, and they're like, "Hey, Mr. Corsi, you want to do one more jump side kick before you leave?" I'm like, I looked at my watch. I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, set it up, man." So I go over so I jump up, jump over the bag, break the board, come down, buckle, blew my ACL out.
Oh,
I'd already torn my
shucks.
ACL out 10 years before, so I knew what it was when I heard the pop. So they all run over, and I'm like, "Get me up, get me up!" And I'm like, "Oh my God!" So I'm driving down to the airport. I call my wife. I'm like, "I think I really screwed my leg up."
That sucks. Sorry for that
And
happened to you.
woke up the next morning. It was about the size of a cantaloupe. Call my doctor, and he's like, come up. We'll take some X-rays, and if it's torn, you got to wait a couple weeks, and then you'll have surgery. And you know the gig, man. It's all about rehab. You got to stretch the rubber band.
100%.
It's
Now there's
rough.
some really great things that can help stuff. I would recommend you look into this if you have old injuries that don't work or you need some healing in your body. The peptide science is going through the roof in the last 3 or 4 years. BP 157, BP 500, they'll change your body. I got NFL players I coach that have been retired 15 years, eating pain meds and Advil like candy. Then they get off all their pain meds when they go to the peptides. And you got to lose weight too and get rid of a
Yeah.
high inflammatory diet. Like stop eating bread and oatmeal and freaking pasta. It's it's not there's no value of it in your health. If
Yeah.
you want to have a little rice once in a while, that's one thing. But those, Cheez-Its and potato chips and pretzels and bread and pasta and that stuff just makes you fat and makes your joint health terrible, changes your insulin just like candy and ice cream does. And
Well, you know
it
what the
doesn't
amazing
do.
thing was? After I blew my knee out, I had to go through surgery. So and I already did the rehab. So I already knew what I needed to do. I go into the rehab place once a month to get measured. And so after I was doing my rehab, I went back on the mat in the summer, and then in September I took my black belt test, and I
Oh,
got
nice.
yeah, I got my black belt, and I told my son, I said, look, man, you can always go back. You got to finish what you start. And my instructor said, hey, Mr. Corson, I got to tell you, man, at 55 years old or 52, whatever you were when you blew it out, uh, I saw him last year and told him I wanted to go get my second degree, and he's like, I got to be honest with you. I didn't think you were going to come back after you blew your leg up.
Oh,
People
nobody does.
that are your age,
That's a big deal.
they just won't come back.
It's the hockey and lacrosse in you.
And so, but I told my wife, I was like, look, man, I got to go back. I got to finish that. I'll hate myself, if and I still bring it up to him. I'm like, bro, you can always go back and get that black belt, because if you're a black belt, not everybody's a black belt in whatever, style that you're taking. The bottom line is, if you become you're an elite group of people. All
You're
right.
only like 1 or 2% of people that ever take martial arts get their black belts.
Yeah. So, but the biggest thing that I liked about Taekwondo, the way of the hand and the foot is that it was I learned grappling, we learned self-defense. That's it was a big thing, but uh it was watching people that were overweight or they weren't very limber, and going through class and watching them get better and better, and
Yeah.
uh you know
Martial arts is great if you got a good instructor, certainly.
yeah, let me tell you, it was great, and the biggest thing was that it built your confidence, it built your strength.
Well,
Uh,
there's a direct, and people forget this, or they don't know it, or they don't think it's for them. There's a direct emotional, psychological, chemical connection to physiological skill development or fitness that affects your outlook and your outcome. Goals have buddies. So somebody that loses 40 or 50 pounds, then sleeps through the night and gets off CPAP and their meds, they have more imagination for work, they have more drive, their dreams become awakened again. So there is a direct, get somebody get their black belt, and it took like 4 years at my school and in the systems that we coach in. They're a different freaking person academically, relationally, professionally, because now they're like, hey, and this is one of my favorite things we used to say as a chant in my school is I can do hard things. People have to change their mindset, because the big transformation, right? As a great human being, developing and expanding your skill set, is the change happens between your ears first. The transformation has to happen in your mindset about how you feel your body, that your self-care is a priority. Like I was talking to one of my buddies today who's a veterinarian. He's like, oh, coach, I just, during the middle of the day, I'm kind of busy. I can't take a break to have a shot of protein. Because the way to properly eat is prioritize your protein. Make sure you do it every 3 or 4 hours. Because if you have breakfast and you don't eat till 6 o'clock at night, your body stores fat. There's a famine, store fat, store fat. So if you eat every 3 or 4 hours, I said, you can't have a protein shake or a protein bar at work? Take you 2 minutes.
yeah.
He said, I guess I can. I said, you guess you can or you can't? He said, no, I can do that. It's all right. If you do that, you have breakfast at 7, appropriate protein, healthy fats, all the things, no carbs. You don't need toast and bread and English muffins. And I mean, I'm a Jersey guy. I haven't had a bagel in 25
Oh,
minutes,
yeah.
right? But it's junk food. Like people say, well, what about oatmeal? I'm like, oatmeal's terrible for you. No good. You know how I make my cows when they get the babies off them? Because it's time to wean the calf at 7 months. How do I get weight on the cow? Oats and corn,
Yeah.
because it makes you fat. Oatmeal makes you fat. Bread makes you fat. Pasta makes you fat. Pretzels make you fat. And of course, everybody knows candy and ice cream, stuff like that. Overdoing fruit makes you fat because it's fruit is sugar. Booze makes you fat and unhealthy in your chemical in your brain, your immune system, your organ health, all that stuff. And I use the word fat. If that offends people, I'm sorry. Carbohydrates add to your adipose tissue.
You know, I
Adipose tissue is what it is.
I was gonna say, when I was doing the Taekwondo thing, listen, I knew about coaching and this and that. I was coaching, and but what the crazy thing was, about halfway through, my black, going getting my black belt, I tweaked my hamstring, and I was sitting in ice in my leg. And I took a week off or so, and I saw Tony Horton, P90X, on
Yep.
the tube back in the day. So I took the thing and I did the 30, the 90-day gig and it was the most amazing thing that I think I had ever done. I mean,
You
I did the
changed
meal
lives.
plan. I got off
Yeah.
soda. Got rid of the carbs. I still have all of my sheets of all of my stuff that I did. And I'll tell you that I hated yoga, but I did it. And at the end, I could actually get in that frog stand. And when I did
That's
that,
awesome.
I was like, well, I was going to curse there. Holy smokes. I actually freaking got up on and did it. I was like, oh my God, this is
That's
the
great.
most amazing
So
thing. Listen, if you're out there in commercial construction coffee talk land and uh you're looking for a coach, whether you're in athletics or you're a business person, listen, business and sports are the same thing. Okay.
so yeah,
You got a
all
president, you got a
sports
head
problems.
coach, you got a VP, you got an assistant coach. You got
Yeah.
HR, you got payroll, you got trainers, and it's the same thing. I look at business and it's the same gig.
Yeah. And if anybody knows marketing and business, so Dan Kennedy, the no BS marketer, who's like the guru millionaire maker, him and I are business partners. We wrote a book called Black Belt Marketing together. And my wife and I also authored a parenting book called Parenting 101. So we're published authors, and I've speak all over the country at corporate events and franchise events and stuff. And I used to do the training for I Love Kickboxing, this huge franchise in the country. All business problems are personal problems. All athletic problems are personal problems. And I'm a certified business coach and life coach. And so you can't see, because you're stuck in the weeds at your business, the simplest ways to get another level of growth. Same with your relationships too. Like because sports coaching, business coaching always ends up in a relationship coaching capacity with their spouse or one of their kids, or a relationship in one of their employees or managers or partners, because people are so bad at communicating with clarity and kindness. So a big part of good coaching is teaching people how to speak and teach people how to listen to understand too, so you can get to a connection point where you guys can make better decisions together. So it's all the same. Like you said, jack of all trades. Everything I do is the same business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's coaching to create life transformation. And I don't care what anybody says, if you got one area of your life like this, and then you say your health is here, this is anchored to that by a chain. It can't, there's resistance, right? Or your health's here, but your financial discipline and your marriage or something's here. There's a chain, and until you level up the deficient area in your life, a rising tide raises all boats. This will help this, but where attention goes, energy flows, results will show. You got to make a decision. Where in your life are you going to allow dysfunction? Or are you going to recognize it, address it, and then go for ultra success or ultra health, which is health comes first. I would say faith comes first, right? Whether you meditate, pray, whatever, you got to have a calm spirit. So faith, then health, right? Then relationships, then business. Most people put business here, and then they're married 5-6 times. Their kids hate their guts, or they're on 7 different medicines and they need to go get a freaking quadruple bypass. So important. Spend 15 minutes praying, personal development, meditating, whatever your thing is. Take care of your health. Take care of your relationship. Because if you have a great relationship, you die of a heart attack when you're 50 because your self-care was off. Remember, friends, genetics load the gun. Metagenetics, your habits and choices, pull the trigger. Plenty of people, football coaches, a lot of them are obese. Like, coach, you work out with the players. You're 61. You go all day in practice. And I'm a hands-on guy with the coaches. What the hell? And I'm like, I have decided I never, ever want to be eliminated from something because I wasn't able to do it physically, right? So it's super, super important to realize that your health is a limiting factor in your success or happiness. So are your relationships. Business, yeah, if you're paying your bills, got a nice house, you got a safe car, you got good groceries, go on vacation once or twice a year. The difference between making 150 grand a year and 300 grand a year is very little difference in lifestyle.
Well,
So
if someone was out there in commercial construction coffee talk land and they would want to maybe bounce some questions off you,
yeah, just go to
how would
Coach.
they reach out to you?
Yeah, so Mike Storms on Facebook, Coach Mike Storms on Instagram, and just go into one of those applications, send me a message or friend me. And and all my stuff on my feed it's wisdom, it's encouragement, it's stuff on my farm. I love to cook, so it's me cooking. I
And
love my wife.
I've seen some really good stuff on his page, man. It looks delicious. No, he's
Love my
not kidding
wife.
about the food.
She's the best person I know. Saved my life in the most wonderful way, and puts up with all my crazy football stuff. Because I hadn't been home on a weekend.
Oh yeah, well, it's football season now. I get it.
And people think sports is glamorous. It's not.
No.
We go to a game and we play in another part of the country. The game's over. That Tulane's had the best 3-year stretch in the history of the school. It's been a blessing to be there. The game's over. We have about an hour and 15 minutes to shower and eat at the stadium or on the bus. Then we get on the bus. We go to the airport to the charter thing. We get on a plane, and within 2.5 hours, we're in the air. So sometimes we get home at
4 in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just, and Sunday it's film.
Yeah.
And workout. I mean, it's just, the season is a grind. I love it. So it's not it's a blast to be a part of it, and it's a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to put all of Mike's contact info in the description. And look, if you're looking for someone that you want to bounce some questions off him, you never thought about it. Listen, he's a Petty alum. He's from the same mindset that I come from there. I still have some pals that I graduated with that I still talk to, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. And as an athlete, you and I are very similar. Come from a military family, sports, all that stuff, and mindset's everything to me. So
Yes, sir. Well, mine's just back to athletics. So my football players, my players all over the league and college, there's a limit to how much they can bench and squat. They're going to hit that when they're probably about 25 or 26. There's a limit in how high their vertical is going to be. There's a limit in their 40 speed. There's a limit in their cone drills. They're going to get there. That's it. They just can't go higher. There is zero limit to your mindset capacity. It's going to keep going till you're in your 80s and 90s if you're still sharpening it, if you have fresh water going in the pond. We have to decide what kind of life we want and then take the appropriate action to do that. The thing that's crazy about it, when you get with somebody, business person, say I'm coaching her health, coaching somebody in their health, they're doing 75% of it. But the last 25% is holding them back dramatically. You don't have to turn your life upside down to make massive differences. Remember, there's a synergistic effect where they stack each other for success, relationally, financially. Compound interest is beautiful. I would buy more NVIDIA if I were you, and I would buy some Bitcoin because it's going to be the standard. It's going to go.
You gotta have some metals in there too, some gold, silver.
100%. And I'm a fan of holding some of it physically as well. Have both. And you got to have some energy stocks in there. You got to have your tech stocks and stuff. But that's people, I tell my players to go to the league. Hey, guy, don't give somebody financial guy 6%, 5% of your business money, no matter how he does every year. Just invest it in index funds. The index funds always outperform the greatest stock advisors in the world.
Yeah, over time.
Basket of a bunch of different stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Listen, I get it.
Yes, sir.
So,
well, David, it's been a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah.
And, thanks for reaching out to me. I'm going to send an email because I'm going up to Jersey for something, and to Petty, and be like, hey, there was a Sports Illustrated article on me last year. I'll be like, hey, I got 32 years experience in the league and in college. If you guys want me to do a clinic for the team, I'd be happy to do it.
Well, that's awesome.
I would just pop in and coach them for an hour or two.
Yeah. Well, listen, I really appreciate you taking out the time.
My pleasure.
And listen, if you're out there, I'll put the descriptions in there and stuff. Three quick things. Number one, stay safe on the construction site. Number two, drink your water, put some electrolytes in there. Stay liquefied. This is the athlete me. When you don't
Okay,
drink,
can
you
I
stay
help you with that real quick?
Yeah, go
Question.
ahead.
So if electrolytes, the problem with them is most of them have artificial flavoring,
Yeah, sure.
artificial sweeteners, and all kinds of garbage in them. The best electrolyte thing for you to use is something called, it's Redmond, Redmond, Relight, Relyte, Redmond Relight. Now, I use the unflavored super one, and so it tastes like you got hit in the face with a saltwater wave down at the beach. Every morning when you wake up, you have to balance your electrolytes. And when you drink a lot of water, if you don't take electrolytes, you're washing all the minerals out of your cells, right? And this is going to freak some people out. The base is 64 ounces. If you're doing construction, now I've done construction, I got a farm. I coach football in Louisiana, which is like, hotter than Satan's armpit,
Yeah.
right? So I drink my body weight in ounces every day.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Like literally.
the thing is, you got to stay liquefied. And if you don't stay, regardless, you got to drink water. Even in the winter when you don't think it's hot out,
100%.
you've got to stay liquefied. And
Great point.
if you stay liquefied, you'll have a better day on the site. You'll be able to go home, have dinner,
Brain works
better sleep, and
better
have a much more positive day. So it's just so important. Last but not least, hit the like button so we can find the YouTube algorithms out there for Mike. And here's a big Alaviva. That's our term at Petty, Alaviva,
Alaviva.
Alaviva.
Go Falcons.
Yep. Well, I think they need more than Go Falcons. I don't know, man. That was pretty ugly, 30-0 against the Panthers last weekend. Couldn't even score a point. The field goal kicker was 5 for 5. I knew it was going to be an ugly day when they went down and he missed the first field goal, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be ugly. I'm turning it off, and then they didn't even score a point. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, they need some new leadership.
Yeah, you don't hire a coach that's under 500 either. That has an under 500 record, in my opinion. But
the Saints are stinking it up this year too.
Yeah, but anyway, listen, I appreciate your time. Say goodbye from outside of NOLA.
Thanks, everybody.
And I'm going to say goodbye from Lake Lanier, just north of the ATL. And listen, everybody, it's hump day today. Have a great Thursday, TGIF on Friday. Woohoo, the weekend. You got Alabama, Georgia, a lot of great games coming up here this weekend. And listen, it's almost the end of Q3. And 3 months left, boom, holidays, and 2026, here we come. So pedal to the metal, stay positive, moving forward, and getting things done. And we will see you next time on another episode of Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. Mike, I'll come up to Jersey. I'm going to look you up, all right?
Or no, brother.
Jersey, no, New Orleans. I'm thinking Jersey.
Yeah. I'll tell you. So, best food in the world, very unique culture, architecture, music. But the restaurants that we go to aren't the places that tourists go to. If you want,
no, you take me wherever, man. I'll eat anything. I'm easy. I'll eat anything.
Good, me too.
All right, man. So listen, everybody. We will see you next time, Mike. I will see you down in Louisiana.
Thanks, brother.
And safe travels out there. All right.
Have a great day.
All right, man. Cheers.